Greetings everyone, welcome back to another thought-provoking video. At least that's what I'm hoping you will see it as. Now, we always hear the expression, we suffer because of the lack of knowledge. And sometimes it's not that the information doesn't come to you. Some people are so shallow in their thinking. They don't want to know. They would rather revel in their insanity. And so you have to know who you can teach certain things to. You don't want to waste your time on people who already have their mind made up or content to walk in darkness. Okay? I'm going to share some secrets today. And there's a lot more where that come from. These things I have experimented with, and I'm using the word experiment loosely. It took me decades to learn some of these things, and spirits teach me most of what I'm about to share with you. So I'm not going to say that I just got up and I'm also awakened by my own deeds or by my own inner thoughts. The message or the lessons came through experience or through my ancestors showing me, or through the spirits that guide me. But before I go any further, I'm going to say a few times I've seen individuals refer to me as a obia woman. And oftentimes when that word is used, it is meant to insult. But I feel very honored to hear people say this. Now, I will not at any point try to confirm or deny. To deny would be an insult to my ancestors. And to own would be something that I would want to allow my ego to take credit for. So, if you want to continue to say that about me, I don't have a problem, to be honest with you. A while back, I sat in a circle of salt on my channel, and I did that because I was asked to do that and I didn't want to do it. It was my partner who said you have to, when I told him the dream. And ever since that day, you got people, say all kinds of things. I don't care. I don't live my life thinking about what other persons think about me, whether it's a lie or truth. When we try to impress upon other people about who we are, it's a complete waste of time and it's an insult. Not just to yourself, but to your Creator. Just live and walk in your truth. Okay? Alright, for those of you who need this, I am here with it for you. Okay? And by the way, when I sat in the circle of salt, when I saw myself doing that in a dream and I did it the next day, of course I can't take credit to say yes I did it, because it was my partner who said you have no choice, you have to do it. And the next day I had a glass container on a table. I was nowhere close to it. It exploded and fell on the ground in pieces, tiny pieces. And what I learned over the years is that when I am asked to do certain things, they're often very embarrassing or they're very difficult to do. But when you're tested, you're always going to be tested before you're getting another clue. And so after I did that, and that glass exploded and shattered all over my place, I realized that whatever was coming at me was broken. Okay? All right, so today I'm going to share with you some Psalms that are very powerful, and I'm going to share with you some herbs that are also very powerful. But before we get into that, here's the Holy Bible. Many of you know it. And when we're using the word God in this video, we're going to use God as a title. Like you would say a principle. That's not the principal's name. Can you hold a moment? I think that's my hubby calling. I just want to just hold one moment. Sorry about that. I'm not going to edit, so okay. So yes, we read. Yes, I was saying that when I use the word God, we're talking about it as a title, like you would say principal, like you would say prime minister, and so on and so forth. So the name God is not the name of an entity that I pray to. It's the title of the celestial beings or the energies that exist with us or around us. Okay? But we're talking about the Bible now. The question you should ask yourself is, what is the Bible? Where did it come from? What is it about? In Christianity, they said it's the Word of God. In my opinion, my humble opinion, it is words written by people stating their experiences. It's rituals and remedies written by people who have experienced certain things in life. So it's like a diary to me. That's how I use it. It's a reference point for me. Now, one of the things you have to say to yourself is, why was the Bible confiscated at a certain point in history? And why was it then released under a new version called the King James Version? Where are some of the books that were in the Bible and why were they taken out? These are questions. Listen, do not argue with people who are fanatical. They know the words that are fed to them, but they don't live the words. I live the words. If it doesn't make sense to me and I don't experience it, I'd neither believe it or pay attention to it. So I do use the scriptures, but I also use other texts, because in the different traditions around the world, in Cuba, in Haiti, in China or Japan, wherever you go in the world, people have their own traditions built on years or decades or hundreds of years of experience. You are ignorant to talk about something that you don't know or understand. So, to the ones who want to stay in the mire and grovel, this video is not for you. It's for people who want to be empowered. All right, so we're going to leave that there. Now, what I'm going to help you with, I'm going to tell you about some of the tools that I use and some of the Psalms. And all the Psalms in the Bible are to be used Not just red, not just put on your wall or put on your bed. They're supposed to be red for a purpose. Like every plant that grows from the earth has its purpose, and they cannot be abused. They should not be abused. They are here for the fulfillment of creation and for our benefit in different ways, to create truth and health and love and abundance. Okay, so the Psalms I'm going to share to you today with you, along with the herbs, are the holy grail in activating healing and blessing. So the ones I'm sharing today are my holy grail. Okay, and these are powerful Psalms that have helped me to escape all kinds of things. I don't use the Psalms the way some people use it. Okay, I use it as a tool. Now, the first one, and I have notes here because I had to write this out to prepare for you. A good teacher will never go to class unprepared. As a teacher in my real life, every day I prepare my lessons. Some people wing it and they don't have a lesson plan. I always have a lesson plan, and so this is my lesson plan today. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 Psalms that are good to protect you from bondage, and just use that word widely. Bondage, whether it be incarceration, whether it be in poverty, whether it be in ill health, whatever it is. These are Psalms that can free you. Psalm 67 and Psalm 68. Both of these Psalms contain the divine name of Jah. And for me, it's Yah. We see the word Selah in the Bible or in the Psalms, and we have no idea what that word means. It's very powerful. You have no clue what it means, or you have no clue what it does. So when I see a lot of persons talking, I laugh, because a lot of these people have no truth, no understanding. You see, when you get a word and you research the word and it is outside of anything that you could imagine or ever heard, then you know that it's coming from a divine place. It's coming from Spirit teaching you. If the Spirit doesn't confirm it with me, I don't accept it. So if I tell you now and it doesn't make any sense to you, then you can discard it. Okay, so Psalm 67 and Psalm 68, these are very powerful tools to protect you from bondage. The Psalms must be prayed over a container with water. So on your altar there should be all these elements to begin with, but when you're doing these Psalms, water must be present. Water is like a conductor, and within the water, spirits dwell. I'm going to just keep it on the surface in this one. The tone of your voice and the kind of lighting in that room matters. If it is a sun-filled room or if it is shrouded in darkness, it does 2 different things. Pause. Now, Psalms to bless your home. Psalm 61. When you are about to take possession of a new home, whether you purchased that home or you moved in that home, you must pray the Psalms before moving in that space. All kinds of things happen in homes. Altars erected to Baal and all kind of demonic spirits, and you don't know this. This is why I stopped buying used things like furniture, or stop taking things up off the road and refurbish it. I don't do that anymore, because I learned that these things have spirits attached to them. And so even in an empty space where you just move in, you have to cleanse that space using herbs and using certain words. When you say these words, it cleanses the space. So there are entities and angels that are guiding forces in our life. I can speak for myself. I cannot speak for you. But our ancestors are forever and always with us, and they help us to find our way in this world. They bring warning. They bring messages. They teach you. And only if you are aware or awakened to certain truth can you know the meaning behind some of these dreams. What the ancestors are trying to say to you. What the creators want to teach you. With people that you know. Sometimes when your family or your friends transcend, these ones come back to you. The reason why they come back to you in a dream is because, you know, if you love a particular person, you respect what they're bringing to you. And that's why you'll see them take on these forms. But these are spirits taking on the form of your loved ones to come and teach you or warn you. Okay? Psalms to overcome enemies plotting against you. This is a big one. I mean, so many of us have enemies and we don't even know them. Sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're family, sometimes they're co-workers. You can't look at people and tell these days. Psalm 6 is a very powerful Psalms. If you are troubled, for example, with eye problems, with sickness that doctors cannot explain, especially when they're doing all the workup, when they're doing all the x-rays and all the blood work and they have no answers for you, this Psalms is a Psalms for you to read. You read the Psalms for 3 days consecutively and pray for 7 times each day, repeating the Psalms. You must do so with reverence and with the belief that your prayer will be answered. If you go into it with any doubt, you will not have any breakthrough. You will not get the answers you're seeking with doubt. You have to believe. You have to not just believe. You have to know. You go to work. You know you're going to get paid. That kind of know. You're pregnant. You know you're going to give birth. You might not know what the result will be. But you know as you conceive, you're going to produce life. You're going to give birth. That's how you have to know. When you're going through these prayers and these moments. This is my prayer room. This is my sacred space. This is where I have my altar. And my altar isn't something that is deep and dark. Because I do not invite dark energies. I seek blessings. But blessings for me is not just money and house and all these kind of things. Blessing come in different forms, in health and wisdom and knowledge. When I get a revelation and it brings me to knowledge that I could not have attained otherwise, I feel so rich. Psalms to keep you safe from poverty. You're reading Psalm 72. So you write down the things you desire. You do not think about what you do not want. And the further steps can be shared with you in a class privately. Some of the things that I've learned over the years, I spent hours and months fasting and meditating and being open, being not ashamed to call on my guides and to pronounce them and to declare them and to not be ashamed of them and to do what they ask me to do. And after I've done all the work, I should just come and give it to you just like that. Come on. Come on. All right. So now we're on to the herbs and the plants. So the first one I'm going to talk about is bamboo. The bamboo plant. Gender, masculine. Start looking at the plants as if they're life forces and that they're alive, because they are. And so the bamboo plant is a masculine gender. Its powers are for protection and X-breaking. So a lot of you walking around here salt like whatever, because you got some X's on you that needs to be broken. In China, it's used as divination, to be able to figure out things, to get more answers. And so pieces of bamboo is broken and thrown before the people who are worshiping, and depending on how it falls, the person will be able to tell if it's a good or a bad omen. So the bamboo is one of those magical plants and used as such. Next one, cabbage. You know the regular cabbage that we eat for vegetable or plant in Jamaica? It's a celestial linkage to the moon. And the gender is feminine. Element, water. Power, abundance. You plant the cabbage in your garden, the first thing you plant in that plot of land before you plant anything else. And it will produce abundance. Okay? Next one. The good old onion. Powerful. Okay? Now, folk name, Oningnum, gender, masculine, element, fire, power, protecting, healing, money. This is what we eat. But the use of this to produce the things that I listed are way too real to just talk about in this one video. Alright? The next one is garlic. These are foods that we're eating, but these things are very powerful. Okay, the garlic, I wrote my notes here to give you just enough for today, just a teaser. So the garlic folk name is Hoho, poor man's treacle. Gender, masculine, element, fire. It's for protection, it's for healing. So when you eat garlic on a particular day, it heightens your spiritual awareness. But the garlic itself is medicine. And when you have garlic in your home, you can use it in all kinds of protection spells, healing rituals, so on and so forth. And I'm going to end with this one. Thyme. Gender, feminine, element, water, powers, healing,